falls low in silence deep. Stars twinkle, memories start to creep. Days of old, like waking from a dream. You, so gentle, now just a distant gleam. Moonlight spills on the lonely pane.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to paint a small shop made of wood. The yellow light makes it look very warm. There are 2 pots of yellow chrysanthemums outside. From the painting, it seems like dusk, but also like morning. The first step is still to lay down the base colors. The dominant color for this painting is yellow. The areas illuminated by the light are in shades of orange. The light itself is a combination of white and lemon yellow. The rest of the colors include unsaturated earth yellow, grayish yellow, as well as grays and grayish blues. Even the leaves of the green plants are yellowish. In summary, the overall tone feels very unified, with the colors being of low contrast. The second step is to wait for the base colors on the paper to dry completely before starting to draw the outlines, especially if you plan to use a pen directly instead of sketching with a pencil. I first sketch with a pencil, and then outline with waterproof ink. With a pencil sketch as a guide, you won't feel so much pressure when inking with a pen. It will feel very relaxed, and you won't have to worry about making mistakes that can't be corrected. These tiles look like a wavy line. You don't need to draw them with 100% accuracy. Especially for this one. I don't plan to make it super realistic. I hope to capture a relaxed and expressive feel. So I'm drawing the lines based on my intuition. It's hard to explain what this intuition is exactly. Maybe it's a general impression of the image in front of me at that moment, kind of like what you see when you squint your eyes. You could also say that I've omitted many details, but you can still tell what I'm drawing. But at the same time, it's important to avoid making all the waves look the same. There should be variations in size and undulation. Otherwise, it will look a bit rigid. You don't need to outline the things inside the house, but the decorations on the bar counter and the lights on the outer walls should be outlined. When drawing these 2 pots of flowers, you can work a bit faster so that you won't get caught up in the details and worry about whether you've drawn them accurately. Just roughly outline the shapes. Before coloring, you need to think about where you want to use the wet and wet technique and how to blend 2 colors seamlessly. It's not necessarily about controlling every single detail, but rather having a clear idea in your mind of the effect you want to achieve and how to get there. Watercolor painting is usually done from light to dark. Of course, there are exceptions, but this traditional method is more suitable for beginners. Getting the colors right is the key. For any areas that are unclear, just roughly dot some colors in place. Especially for elements that are already blurry in the reference image, there's no need to paint them too clearly. Also, there's no need to fill every space with color. Leaving a little gap here and there can give a relaxed and pleasant feeling. When painting the interior of the shop, since it's indoors, the objects can be less clear compared to those outside. So, pay attention to the natural connection between colors and avoid hard edges. It's best to use the wet and wet technique. Next, paint the shadows using a grayish-blue color. Remember to add plenty of water to create a very light layer of shadow. Now I'm using a fine, long-tipped brush to paint the green leaves on the roof. Just dot them on like this, and you can be a bit more free and casual. Then, while it's still wet, dot on some dark green. Use the same method to paint the 2 pots of flowers below, starting with lighter colors and gradually moving to darker ones. Adding burnt sienna to the emerald green will create a warm, dark green. We also need a deeper, cooler, dark green, which can be achieved by adding a bit of ultramarine blue. In this way, a single plant appears to have at least 5 layers. The stool at the lower left has roughly 4 to 5 layers. We can start with the base color and then deepen it. The original medium yellow with a touch of orange now has a bit of burnt sienna added to it. This small area with a grayish-blue base color will be painted with this deep yellow to ultimately achieve a dark gray. Add a little water to the deep yellow used earlier to create a very light shade, and use it to add another layer to the surface of the stool. Now let's paint this piece of wood on the roof. The main color is a ochre with a hint of orange, and there are also some variations in light and shadow. The color at the end is relatively duller. I didn't paint the color of the shadow, I just painted the original color of the wood. Wait until it's slightly dry before painting the shadows. Add a bit of ochre to deepen the shadow areas. This area is completely in the shadow, so it looks very dark. Since I'm not used to painting it too dark all at once, I'll start with a slightly deeper warm color. Now add a bit of burnt sienna and deepen it layer by layer, because there are at least 3 colors in this shadow area. After the green leaves on the roof have dried, the color looks quite light, so add a cool dark green to them. Now let's deepen the shadow areas once again. Paint the thin, elongated shadows on the roof. The roof actually has a reddish hue under the light, but I didn't paint it to red. Instead, I kept it within the yellow tone. If it's not dark enough, add some black. Add some water to it, and it becomes a very nice dark gray, which can be used to paint the shadows on the roof tiles. Painting the roof tiles requires the most patience because it involves repetitive actions and the colors are similar. The shadow at the base of the wall now appears quite light, so we need to continue deepening it. Then start painting the objects inside the shop. Don't paint them too clearly, and keep the contrast a bit weaker to avoid making them look too prominent. Be sure to paint the beautiful shades of orange-red in the picture, because that's one of the reasons I liked this reference image in the first place. Every time I see that the dried color is still not dark enough, I feel like this painting is going to take forever to finish. So when to stop working on a painting really depends entirely on one's own judgment. However, the reason I love painting with watercolors is because I'm captivated by the delicate and layered changes that come with each layer of paint. Objects that are closer to the foreground definitely need to be painted over several times. The shadows on the flower pots also need to be built up layer by layer. The color here is too intense, so I'll use a clean brush to lift some of the color off. It looks a bit better now. Now I'm using a waterproof pen with a reddish-brown color to deepen it. This step isn't necessary. You can continue with watercolor. The reason I'm switching to a waterproof pen is just to change the feel. I personally enjoy using different materials and tools. The biggest advantage of using colored waterproof pens is that the color you see now won't lighten once it dries. So, you can use it with certainty. Now use the white from gouache to brighten the highlights. The light bulb is the brightest part, so it needs a bit of white added. Next, continue to add some details and variations to enrich the painting. Finally, add a few simple strokes of background color, and then splatter a few drops of blue to complete it.